one of the biggest costs that you will ever have in your lifetime is your mortgage. Now, the US government has actually made that cheaper. So your mortgage does not have to be as expensive as it is currently today. But I want to explain what is going on here because I got a very interesting comment just the other day. I want to go over this because here's what is happening. Listen to this comment. This person says, Adam, did you know that there is a new 40-year loan out there right now? My realtor just told me about it and how this additional 10 years will lower my monthly payment enough that I can finally afford a home. My question to you, are there any downsides to a longer mortgage? Now, I want to address this exact comment. First off, is it true that there is something called a 40-year mortgage? The answer is yes. This is a new FHA loan. Look at this right here. So FHA announces increased 40-year term for loan modifications. This actually came out this was from March 9th, but it actually came out on March 8th. That is a month ago from today. Now, who qualifies? This is where there's a lot of misinformation. And this is why it's very frustrating because what this person just said is there is a new 40-year loan when essentially there is not a new 40-year loan. Get this. Look at this right here. So I'm going to read you this right here. On Wednesday, March 8th, 2023, the Federal Housing Administration, also known as FHA, announced its final rule to increase the term of a loan modification to 480 months, which is 40 years. The rule permits lenders to provide an extended modification to borrowers after a default episode to assist in avoiding foreclosures. That is straight from the FHA. Now, why am I going to address this? Because I'm getting a lot of people that are saying that they're going to go out and get a home because this additional 10 years is going to bring down the monthly payment. That's true if you qualify for this 40-year loan. But again, this is a loan modification, which means it is a modification to an existing home loan. But that existing home loan, again, has to be close to default because they want to avoid a foreclosure. That's what they're saying. Now, in a minute, I want to explain the cons of a 40-year mortgage, but I also want to show you how much it could save you. And this is why so many people are getting very excited about this because they believe that they could qualify for a 40-year mortgage even though they may be a first-time home buyer and not have an existing mortgage. Look at this. So this is just a payment calculator, a loan breakdown. So right here, look at this. So I'm just going to say this is going to be, let's say 450,000. Say 450,000 right here. Down payment, we're going to do a percentage. We will only do 10%. So your loan amount is $405,000. Interest rate, we'll leave it at 6.7%. Now, the loan term, 30 years. It's going to start this in May because that's when it starts. Now, the 40-year starts in May. Property taxes, PMI, we'll leave it. Home insurance, okay, we'll leave it. Conventional, we'll actually do, let's just do a VA because it's FHA, VA, USDA loans. So we'll just do USDA, okay? And let's click calculate. So here's the number right here. This is the one that we need to look at. Let's click calculate. So the mortgage right here, this is with PMI. It's going to be over $3,000. That is until you the PMI, okay? This has to be, you have to have at least 20% equity, okay? But it's going to take you 8 years of paying this payment in order to bring your payment down, okay? This is one of the cons, is that you build equity slower, all right? Because your payment, again, you're paying this over a longer term. So this is the number right here, $3,065. This is for a 30-year fixed rate loan. Let's change that to 40 years. So it's a $3,065. Let's calculate that. So $3,065. So you're looking at almost $190, $184 that you would save. Okay, so you'd save about $184 a month, $85. Let's say $200 a month is what you're going to save by going with a 40-year fixed rate loan. Okay, so this is part of the problem. This is why I bring this up, is because this person's comment again says, my realtor just told me about it and how this additional 10 years will lower my monthly payment enough that I can afford a home. So that's not true. That's misinformation. That's part of the problem, is that right now you're getting a lot of people talking about this new 40-year loan when essentially it's just a modification to an existing loan. Just over the pandemic, there were 7.5 million mortgages that were in forbearance. 7.5 million mortgages. That's how many people needed the assistance. Guess what? Guess what's happening right now? We are already in a recession. The federal government has changed the definition of a recession, which is why I always say that when we dip into the recession, because technically we are in one, but from the federal government's perspective, we're not. Okay, because again, they changed the definition. But most economists and all experts are telling us and pointing to the fact that we will for sure be in a recession, whether it's the old definition or the new one. We will be in there sometime in 2023. Now, here's the reason why this new 40-year mortgage is very important. This is going to keep millions of borrowers out of foreclosure. That's it. Not only is it going to keep them out of foreclosure, but you know how the Biden administration has been wanting to provide the American citizens with additional relief. Well, guess what? They're going to accomplish this by giving this relief to people that own homes but are struggling to pay them. Because again, like it says right here, that the modification is going to go to borrowers after a default episode to assist with avoiding foreclosures. That's it. Okay? So keep that in mind, that they're already planning on giving assistance starting in May. That's big. Now, one of the questions that I know a lot of people are going to ask are, well, what are the cons? Because that's exactly what this person asked. Are there any downsides to a longer mortgage? The answer is yes. There are some upsides, like it brings your cost down, right? That's an upside. But there are some cons. Here are some of the cons to a 40-year mortgage. First off, it's harder to find. Not every single lender out there is going to offer a 40-year mortgage. So you'll have to find one that will. It also has higher total costs, because the longer your payment period is, and a 40-year mortgage is obviously 10 years longer than a normal 30-year, this means that chances are you're going to have additional costs that come along with it. Also things like higher interest rates, right? Your interest payments over additional 10 years, they're going to stack up. It means you got to pay more money. It's part of the problem. And something that I've already addressed, but again, probably one of the biggest ones, is your equity builds very slowly. It takes longer to build equity in a home that is on a 40-year mortgage. For instance, a 15-year mortgage, you'll pay that thing down much quicker. 30-year, well, it's a little bit longer. 40-year, obviously longer than that. So that is part of the problem. But again, this is where things are very interesting, because mortgages just became cheaper. But here's the problem. In order for the mortgage to become cheaper, the person on the mortgage has to default on that mortgage. They have to be in, be close or at risk of a foreclosure. And then lenders will work with them to extend their mortgage to a potential 40 years. That is why this is very interesting, because some experts say this is going to look like a real estate crisis. It's going to look like all these homes are about to hit the market because the banks are going to pull them back, and they need to then take that money or take the house, the asset, sell it off so that they can go and pay whoever they need to pay. But here's the interesting part. Banks are already struggling. I believe there's like 450 banks that are on the verge of a collapse. They're at risk right now. Here's the problem. What if all these banks, they have people that are in a 30-year fixed rate loan, and guess what? They're all struggling. I'm just saying, what if? The banks are struggling right now because they need more deposits. They need more money coming in. Guess what? If, let's say, 10%, I'm not even going to say 10%, let's say 1% of all mortgages, they go and get a 40-year fixed rate loan. Guess what? It's going to lower their payment. Yes, interest goes up, but it's also going to lower their payment, which means the banks and the lenders are going to be making less money, not more. Do you see why this is an issue? Because this 40-year fixed rate loan could actually cause a banking crisis to accelerate, not decelerate. But just wanted to fill you in on what's going on with that, because I know I got a lot of questions regarding, is this true? Is real estate going to be cheaper? The answer is no, it's not necessarily going to be cheaper for people that are just now looking, but for those that do have an existing mortgage, yes, it could be cheaper. So again, thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions whatsoever, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. But again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.